She is the woman trusted by millions to heal what's visible on the surface, the world-renowned dermatologist and TV star, Dr. Pimple Popper. For years, Dr. Sandra Lee held absolute control over her craft with a steady hand and a surgical blade. But on one ordinary night, the body she used to save others became her own prison. A silent, invisible enemy was attacking her brain, and the doctor herself didn't see it coming. It started like any other grueling day on set. Dr. Lee was pushing through a long, stressful day of filming. But during production, she experienced something highly unusual for her, a sudden hot flash. Brushing it off as mere exhaustion, she kept going. It wasn't until later that evening, while sitting down for a warm bowl of soup, that the first real warning sign appeared. She noticed a sudden, strange difficulty swallowing. Recalling that night on the Today Show, Sandra admitted, "At the end of the day, I was feeling crabby, as I usually am because it's a long day, but I was having trouble swallowing." Like most of us, she made a fatal assumption. She just needed to sleep it off. She went to bed early, wanting to be fresh for her patients the next day. But the night had other plans. In the dead of night, Sandra woke up. Shooting nerve pains were firing down her legs. When she tried to stand up, her body betrayed her. Her left side was noticeably weak. Stumbling through the darkness of her room, panic began to set in. Her medical training kicked in, and she remembered a standard neurological test from her days in medical school. She held both arms straight out in front of her. In her own words, "I just see one hand sort of crumble." When she tried to speak, her usual eloquence was gone. She was stumbling over her words. Even as a doctor, the human mind defaults to denial. She convinced herself it was just a panic attack and tried to push through to get to work. Fortunately, while filming, Sandra stays with her parents, who also happen to be medical professionals. The moment she described her symptoms, they didn't hesitate. They ordered her to go to the emergency room immediately. When she arrived at the hospital, the staff didn't make her wait. The moment she uttered her symptoms, they swept her right in. And soon, the terrifying truth was laid bare. At 55 years old, Dr. Sandra Lee had suffered a stroke. A stroke occurs when the blood supply to part of the brain is interrupted, reduced, or leaks, starving brain cells of vital oxygen. For a surgeon who prides herself on precision, hearing this diagnosis was terrifying. She had underlying risk factors, high blood pressure and high cholesterol, alongside a family history. Yet, she had still missed the signs. Today, Dr. Lee is sharing her story to scream a vital warning to the world, emphasizing the acronym BEFAST, the definitive warning signs of a stroke. B for balance, sudden dizziness or unsteadiness. E for eyes, sudden changes or loss of vision. F for face, drooping or weakness on one side of the face. A for arm, weakness or numbness in one arm or leg. S for speech, slurred, garbled, or difficult speech. T for time, time to call 911 immediately. And with an ischemic stroke, time is literally brain matter. If caught within a critical 4-hour window, treatments can dramatically reverse or prevent long-term damage. With deep regret, Sandra stated, "I think I missed that window, and that really is key." Because she chose to sleep on it, she now faces a completely different reality. Now in recovery, the doctor has to become the patient. The surgeon who spent her life relying on her hands must now retrain her brain to communicate with her muscles. Her physical grip has changed, and adjustment, she admits, has been deeply difficult for her identity. She still experiences slight speech difficulties when she is tired or overworked, but this stroke in her 50s completely shifted her perspective. Sandra stepped away from seeing patients to focus on her health, realizing she wants to be there to see her future grandchildren grow up. She is breaking the stigma, especially prevalent in many cultures, that showing sickness is a weakness. Her final message to you is simple. Even as a doctor, I can recognize these things, but as a woman, being young, thinking like it's not going to happen to you, I tried to sleep on it. Don't wait. Listen to your body. Prioritize your health, because time waits for no one.